All right, let's talk about something profound, something that unites us all across every culture, every time period. I'm talking, of course, about one of humanity's most ancient, most universal, and frankly, most pointlessly embarrassing biological functions. Yeah, we're talking about farts. Seriously, why? Why is this one specific sound treated like a social crime? Think about it. We treat a perfectly natural noise with the kind of shame usually reserved for, I don't know, admitting you still enjoy Nickelback. It's just a puff of harmless gas. So what's with a silent butt-clenching panic? And get this, that number up there, 14 to 25, that's not a suggestion. That's a biological reality. It's how many times the average perfectly healthy person farts every single day. That means you, me, your boss, that super intimidating person at the gym, we're all part of the same gassy club. And yet, despite this being a universal constant, we've all signed up for the great gas conspiracy. We've all mastered the art of the tactical cough, the classic wasn't me side-eye, or just silently praying to whatever gods you believe in that nobody heard anything. But here's the kicker. What if I told you this whole charade isn't just ridiculous? It's literally bad for your health. Okay, let's get into the mechanics of it. Let's look at the biology we've all been collectively pretending doesn't exist. Because, spoiler alert, your body is basically a finely tuned high-performance gas factory. So, flatulence, the official term, it's just the expulsion of intestinal gas. But the crucial part here is that it's a natural byproduct. It's a direct sign that the trillions of little critters living in your gut are actually doing their job, keeping you alive. It's not a flaw in the system, it's a feature. It's basically the sound of a healthy microbiome, a tiny, sometimes smelly, biological thumbs up. And you know what's really funny about all the fuss we make? Look at this chart. About 99% of what comes out is completely odorless. Nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, it's basically just warm air. That infamous room-clearing smell, that's just a tiny, tiny fraction of sulfur compounds. So we're panicking over the 1%. So what happens when you decide to defy your own biology? It's an internal battle, for sure. On one side, you've got holding it in. The result, bloating, abdominal pain, maybe even a fun little condition called diverticulitis. On the other side, letting it go. The result there, instant relief, a happy functioning gut. Yeah, it's a real head-scratcher, isn't it? And this just hammers the point home. We're talking about reducing painful bloating, improving your colon health, signaling a good diet. You're even relieving stress. You've been taught to feel shame for doing something that's literally preventing your own digestive system from turning into a painfully pressurized container. It's not rude. It's just basic biological maintenance. But, it wasn't always like this. Believe it or not, our ancestors weren't nearly as clenched. In fact, for some of them, a little bit of gas was a ticket to the good life. I want you to meet Roland the Farter. And no, that wasn't a mean nickname. That was his job description. He was a professional flatulist in the 12th century court of King Henry II. His one, singular, highly valued talent, well, let's call it anal acoustics. And this is from the actual historical records, the 13th century Book of Fees, describing Roland's annual duty. Unum saltum et sufflatum et unum bumulum. Sounds so majestic, doesn't it? Very grand, very Latin. The translation, one jump, one whistle, and one fart. Yup, that was it. That was a whole performance. He did it once a year, every Christmas. That was his job. And what did he get for this singular talent? Oh, just Hemmingstone Manor and over 100 acres of prime English countryside. So next time you're in a dead quiet meeting, physically fighting your own intestines for absolutely no reward, just remember, this guy got a country estate for one well-timed toot. He literally farted his way into the landowning class. But this is where it all started to go wrong. You can see the tragic decline right here. We go from Roland the Farter getting a whole manor in the 12th century, to Chaucer writing fart jokes in the 14th, to the 16th century where the Earl of Oxford accidentally farts and then flees the country for 7 years in shame. We went from rewarding farts with real estate to self-imposed exile, a true dark age for digestive expression. But wait, if you think a professional court farter was the absolute peak of fart acceptance, oh, you are in for a treat. Let's travel over to medieval Japan, where they didn't just accept it, they turned it into high art, and apparently a weapon. Yeah, say hello to He-Gassen, which literally translates to fart battle.
These are intricate, beautiful art scrolls dating back centuries that depict exactly what the name says: epic competitions of competitive flatulence. I'm not making this up. This is real historical art.
And check out the tactics depicted in these scrolls. We're talking about weaponized gas stored in bags for later. Farts powerful enough to uproot trees and blow away horses, piercing holes through walls. And look, opponents defending themselves with fans. This isn't just a silly joke, it's a full-blown hurricane force art form. They had tactical equipment.
This was a celebrated tradition. It was basically toilet humor elevated to the level of high art. So let's just recap. A medieval Japanese artist can paint a fart that blows down a forest, and it's considered culture. But you feel a bit awkward when one slips out in an empty elevator. I have to ask again, who's the weird one in this scenario?
All right, let's bring this all back to the present. We've looked at the science, we've seen the, frankly, glorious history. So what's the big takeaway here? What are we supposed to do with all this?
Well, this table pretty much sums it up. On one side, you have the lie we all live by, that farting is shameful, rude, and unnatural, and must be stopped at all costs. And on the other side, you have the truth. It's a vital sign of a healthy gut, suppressing it causes actual health problems, and it was once a source of wealth and art. The gap between the fiction and the fact is just huge. We've built this little prison of politeness around a totally normal body function.
The crucial point is this. Our modern taboo isn't some timeless piece of etiquette handed down through the ages. It's a pretty recent and, frankly, nonsensical invention that directly opposes our own well-being. We've basically been conned into feeling shame about something our bodies need to do. It's like we all fell for a really successful marketing campaign for discomfort.
Look, the goal here isn't to be crass. Nobody's saying you should aim for the CEO during the quarterly review. The goal is to be free from unwarranted shame. It's a call to stop feeling like you've committed some terrible crime just because you have a functioning digestive system. Acknowledge it, maybe excuse yourself, and move on with your life.
And just think about that poor Earl of Oxford. He wasted 7 years of his life in self-imposed exile over one little accident. And when he finally came back, Queen Elizabeth I apparently just said, "My lord, I had forgot the fart." She'd completely forgotten about it. Even the queen, whose shame he feared, got over it. So maybe, just maybe, it's time we did too.
So I'll leave you with this question. If the oldest recorded joke in all of human history is, in fact, about a fart, then who are we, in our infinite sophistication, to think we're above it all? It's something to think about, isn't it? Especially the next time you're trying to silently hold back a biological reality that's been making people laugh and, let's not forget, making them rich for thousands of years.